different views on you.
What's up, YouTube? Today we're here to talk about flexible dieting, otherwise known as IIFYM, if it fits your macros. Flexible dieting is basically the idea of consuming a certain amount of calories per day, whether you're trying to bulk up or trying to cut weight or trying to maintain, based off your body mass, your height, a lot of physical traits. You're getting specific amounts that are based off of science, and these numbers based off of your big three: proteins, carbs, and fats. You're going to get a certain amount of grams per day, and you have to eat foods that are basically going to fill these groups in, and you have to track what you're eating. Over time, these will help you hit your goals, such as gaining a pound per week, losing a pound per week, or staying the same weight for X amount of time. Now, the big thing behind this type of dieting is that there's more work that has to be done necessarily than any other diet. So when you're tracking your foods, to start out, you probably want to buy a food scale and weigh out all your portions, just so you have an idea in the future if you want to eyeball certain amounts when you're intaking your food, just to be exact and to be safe.
Yeah, that's one of the issues I had when I started doing this. I wasn't sure how many ounces, let's say, like 6 ounces of steak would be, or 5 ounces of rice. It was kind of hard for me, so I had to look it up a bunch of times, but definitely going to invest in a food scale. That'll get things straight for the future, help me out when I'm trying to eyeball it, like he said.
Right, and there's actually a great app that's for free in the App Store for iPhone and Android users. It's called MyFitnessPal, and it actually has a lot of foods that these users use. It's kind of like a community, you can say, and they put all the information in for like foods, like even like meats you would find packaged at the grocery store, and you can scan them, and it'll actually give you the correct servings and macronutrients for that exact food, and it'll help you track and meet your goals for the day.
It also lets you choose how many ounces, how many portions, how many serving sizes you've had. And one thing I like is, if you're kind of like me, you don't really cook that much, you go out. I wouldn't say I go out to eat, but you can look up restaurants, and it'll have their entire menu on there. You can pick and choose from what you ordered that night or day or morning, and it'll be all right there for you. So it's pretty simple.
Right. Now, the discrepancy for this type of dieting is that there's like the myth that people are going to go overboard and you can literally eat whatever you want. In my opinion, from using it for the past couple of months, there's a lot of ways you can loosely throw the term moderation around. For the past month, like, I've eaten like burgers or pizza like a couple of times throughout the week, and I've still met my goals and stayed relatively lean. As long as you're hitting the certain macronutrients and goals, I think you'll be okay. But you definitely don't want to go overboard and like keep your main meals for the day as fast food. I still eat like relatively good as well. Like, I'll have like a turkey burger and brown rice or vegetables as like my staple meal, just to make sure I'm getting in good nutrients, and also micronutrients, which people miss out on from skipping vegetables. Always eat your greens. So yeah, it's always good to eat those things in moderation, but this allows you to eat the foods you want, get the foods you want in, still meet your goals, and still have a social life whenever you want. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think if you're on a bulking kind of flexible dieting, and you say you need to meet 3,000 calories per day, it's kind of hard if you're busy throughout the day to find yourself eating all these foods. That's where sometimes you would have to pick like the fattier foods with more calories to fill you up, and then at the end of the day you're looking at the thing and you're saying, oh wow, I still have about 1,100 calories to go, what do I do? You find yourself like spoon feeding peanut butter at like 11:59 just to meet your macros for the day.
Yeah, you could definitely see the advantages of this diet, especially if you know you want to eat bad that day. Like, I'll personally save, when I'm bulking, I have around 3,000 calories a day. So if I want to have like 2 burgers and like a pound of fries, I'm probably going to save 2,500 calories for later in the day when I want to have that meal. And I'll still gain weight, which is an awesome thing about it. This diet really works for athletes if you're competing too, if you're bodybuilding, or if you're doing a physique show or something like that, you're going to meet your weight because it's based on science. So you can set your calories and your macronutrients if you want to gain a pound a week, gain a half a pound a week. It's really up to you and your discretion. It's actually quite easy to set up your calories and your macronutrients. We'll tell you about that in another video. But there's definitely a lot of advantages that comes with flexible dieting, and I definitely think it's underused more in the professional world. I think people are scared of it, and I think it's really undervalued for what it is. Meanwhile, this is the diet that has the most scientific background behind it.
All right.
Sweat.